Hello everyone, welcome to yet another video of electromagnetic fields. In this video we are going to discuss about unit 3 magnetostatics, wherein which we are going to discuss in detail about an important law which governs magnetostatics, that is Biot-Savart law. So before getting into the topic, let's recall the previous topics that we have discussed, and also we will see what are all the topics that is being covered through this unit. So now we are discussing about the fundamental laws governing magnetostatics. So basically we have three laws: Lorentz law of force, Biot-Savart law, and Ampere's law. So we've already discussed Lorentz law of force, and now we are going to see in detail about the Biot-Savart's law. So in this topic, in this video, we are going to discuss about Biot-Savart law with a DT approach. So therefore, we are going to first empathize the Biot-Savart law, why engaging with magnetic fields. Then we are going to define the Biot-Savart law. Then we are going to visualize the magnetic field geometry by proper ideation, and then through practical applications or through prototypes we are going to evaluate these magnetic fields, and finally a small test regarding the understanding of the topics that we have discussed right now. So first, basically, let's empathize the Biot-Savart law. Let's begin with the physical demonstrations. We have two current carrying wire loops attract and repel each other. Their interaction provides a tangible introduction to the concept of magnetic fields. Either they get attracted or they get repelled. Okay, so there exists any form of attraction and repulsion kind of force between these two current loops. But are these forces visible? Yes, because the attraction and repulsion makes the loops comes to closer or to get repelled away. So these visible forces may be due to some effects. So what might be causing these effects? Let's now think with some real world devices. So here, Biot-Savart law, it allows us to calculate the magnetic field produced by a steady electric current. So it is the fundamental equation in magnetostatics, which is analogous to Coulomb's law in electrostatics. So we have already dealt with Coulomb's law in electrostatics, which is the basic law which provides the electric field intensity of any charged particles. So same way, if I want to find, if I am taking a current carrying loop, it gets attracted or repelled with a neighboring loop because of this magnetic field or magnetic force which is experiencing. Now how I can calculate this magnetic field, because it is experiencing some sort of magnetic field between these two loops, right? So how we can calculate it? That is through the Biot-Savart law. So Biot-Savart law basically states that the magnetic flux density is directly proportional to the current element IDL and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So therefore dB is proportional to mu naught by 4 pi epsilon. Mu naught is proportional to IDL by R square. Since it is a vector, we are going to introduce a unit vector which is AR cap, which is equal to modulus R divided by R vector divided by modulus R. So therefore we are multiplying both R square, which is already present in the equation, and then with this unit vector R. Therefore dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into IDL cross R vector divided by R cube, where dB is the infinitesimal magnetic field which is concerned with a small area, and mu naught is the permeability of free space, which is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Tesla meter per amps, and then I is the current flowing to the wire or conductor, whatever, and dl is the infinitesimal length of the current element. So together I and dl are called as the current element, and R is the displacement vector from the current element to the point where the field is calculated. Now, breaking down this formula, we are going to discuss about how this current is being found and how this distance is calculated and what is this current element. Now observe this image. We are going to understand the geometry of this magnetic field. Okay, so we have two common configurations. One is the straight current carrying wire and the other one is current loop, wherein which the magnetic field lines from a straight current carrying wire are concentric circles around the wire with their direction given by the right hand rule that we have already seen in Lorentz force. And while observing the current loop, the field lines resembles those of a bar magnet converging at a center and diverging from the outside. So therefore there is a difference in the distribution of the magnetic field based on the symmetry of the conductor. Now we are going to apply Biot-Savart's law. How we can apply Biot-Savart's law for various cases. So first we are consider a circular loop wherein which we need to calculate the magnetic field intensity at the center of the loop. Now let's apply Biot-Savart's law to this practical scenario, so thereby we can find the magnetic field at the center of the current loop. This is a common problem that highlights the law's utility. So let us give some specifications to the current carrying loop. Like it has a radius r and the current flowing through the loop, let it be I. So therefore by integrating we know that integral dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into IDL divided by r cube cross r vector. So therefore apply the r square r cube as capital R and we have the current element as I. So by thereby we simply apply in order to get this value. If in case they have given with the valid problems wherein which this radius r and I are being replaced with some fixed values, then we can directly apply those values into the formula that we have discussed earlier so as to get the magnetic field intensity or magnetic flux density values for the particular applications. So these are the key takeaways from today's discussions. First thing is that the direction of the magnetic field is crucial and is determined by the right hand rule for both straight wires and loops, because when we apply current, a magnetic field is set up and this magnetic field is responsible for producing torque. So therefore it is mandatory to determine the field direction so as to predict the direction of force. And then the inverse square relationship. The magnetic field strength diminishes rapidly with the distance from the current element. So if the distance is too far, then the magnetic field strength will be too low, and if the distance is too small, then higher will be the magnetic field strength. And also this law serves as a foundation for electromagnetism. So this is a cornerstone law for understanding and predicting magnetic phenomena. So with this I come to the end of the video. So we have already discussed about what is meant by Biot-Savart's law and how we can empathize or what is the need for Biot-Savart's law, and then we have discussed about the mathematical equation, then how we can apply Biot-Savart's law for real-time applications like calculating field intensity for different conductors, and then we have given some sample problems wherein which we have to apply R value and I values so as to get the numerical values from it. And these are the reference that I have referred for preparing this PPT and lecture note materials. So if you do have any queries regarding it, do comment me, or you can check out this website so that you can get a clear idea. So thanks for listening this video. Hope this video finds very useful to you in understanding Biot-Savart's law on a day-to-day basis. So thanks for learning. Keep watching.